How many of you listen to music daily? Whether it's when you wake up, whether it's when you go to work out, if you work out, whether it's when you go back to sleep, when you go anywhere. Many people listen to music, but don't really think about how it's used daily. Music is used quite often, and some people don't even really stop to think what it's used for. Since about 2010, my freshman year in high school, I started thinking about how music is used, and I started thinking about it consciously and unconsciously. I started to think about how I use it in my daily life. I started to think, how does this help me when I have friends, I have family that can help me with things that go on through my life? Sometimes, instead of going to those people, I listen to music. And from my freshman year to now, I started to really start to pay more attention as to how music makes me feel. Music is useful in both good and bad ways, but there's more good ways than bad ways to use music. Today, I'm going to tell you about the good ways that we use music specifically to help you relax during stressful times, using music to help you think, and using music as an effective motivator. First, I'm going to tell you about how we use music during stressful times. According to PsychCentral.com, a woman named Jane Collingwood, who got her bachelor's degree of science in psychology from the University of Plymouth in England, says listening to music, especially slow music such as classical music or even jazz, can help you deal with stressful times, and it helps you especially in your mind and your body. She says music is very beneficial to our psychological functions, slowing down the heartbeat, lowering blood pressure, and decreasing stress hormones. Ms. Collingwood also says, as music can absorb our attention, it acts as a distraction at the same time to help explore emotions. Now, I saw that as a way of, when you're stressing, music helps you kind of think away from it, but it also helps you think about it at the same time. When you're stressing about, assignments, when you're stressing about family, you listen to music, and sometimes you'll listen to your favorite songs, and you'll start to think about what those words mean, but you'll also start to think about what you're stressing about. And you kind of put them together, and it kind of helps you relieve stress in a way, because you listen to something that's pleasing as well as thinking about something stressful, and they kind of counteract each other or work together at the same time. Now that I've told you about how we use music during stressful times, I'm going to tell you about how we use music to help you think. Music really helps you think as long as it's the right kind of music. Now, what's considered the right kind of music? According to Dean Bennett, a doctor who got his PhD from the University of Cardiff, from Cardiff University in the UK, he talks about an experiment that he did. And basically it tells you, he says that music with a little synchronization with your mind, it helps you think. He says that a pleasing sound associated with body movement can, in a way, make your mind work. He says, in a simpler term, as he says, this is a quote from one of his articles, he says, music needs to be funky, but not too funky, for people to like it enough to make them want to dance. And the way I saw it was, you go to parties, you go to, quinceañeras, or, family reunions, and you see people dancing, and, everyone has a certain song that they like to dance to specifically. You'll see people dancing to a lot of songs, but if you watch them closer, you start to notice that there are specific songs that they dance to, and a lot of them sound the same. And that is kind of a mental thing that people don't actually think about. They feel it because they feel the beat of the music, they feel how the music affects others and how it affects them, but they don't really think about that's the kind of music they dance to. You know, some people will dance to cumbias, but they won't dance to country music. Some people will dance to country music, but they won't dance to rock music. Some people will dance to 90s music, but they won't dance to, you know, modern day music. It's just a lot of unconscious things that people don't think about that music does to them. Now that I've told you about how music helps you deal with stress and it helps you think, I'm going to tell you about how music is an effective motivator. Music really motivates us to do things better than we actually probably think that we can. Susan Hallam from the Institute of Education at the University of London says that rhythmic accompaniment to physical education enhances the development of physical skill. Now, what does that mean? You're probably thinking to yourself. Music, basically the way I took it was music helps your physical activity. Music helps you think about what you're doing. You know, have you ever watched football on Sundays and watched the players before game, watch them in pregame, and they're playing catch with each other. They're playing catch with the football, with the quarterback, with the receivers, you know, running backs with the receiver, with the quarterbacks. You know, they're all playing catch, but you see a lot of them wearing headphones. And you know that you may not be thinking it all the time, but sometimes you might think, I wonder what he's listening to. I wonder if it's something that's going to motivate him. Now, I don't know about some of you. I know some of you have probably played sports in your life and probably listened to music at one point and, you know, used it to help you get ready for a game. You use music to pump yourself up. You use music to get your heart flowing. And a lot of people use it during workouts. A lot of people use it during workouts so that way they can exert themselves better. They use music to pump themselves up. You listen to something fast-paced, so that way you get your blood pumping, you get your heart rate pumping, so that way you can exert yourself to your full extent instead of listening to something slow, which might, you know, make you want to move slower, make you want to relax, and that's not something you exactly want. Music is almost necessary in physical activity, in my mind. You know, when I was younger, specifically, especially in high school, before baseball games, I always had my music on. I was playing catch with my friends, whoever I was getting ready to play with that day. I was playing catch with them, had my headphones in, and I was just using it to relax, but at the same time get myself ready to go. And I think most athletes nowadays do that. I mean, you watch the Olympics, you see those guys, especially someone like Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt, before one gets ready to run or swim, they have their big headphones on, and they're just walking around, getting ready to, you know, compete. And they're, you know, listening to something that's going to get them in the right frame of mind, in the right idea, thinking, I'm going to win. Nothing's going to get in my way, and I'm going to win. Music is useful in many ways of life. And in conclusion, music can be used in both good and bad ways. And we do use music a lot in our lives, whether we think about it or not. Excuse me. Today I told you about how I use music to think, how we use it during stressful times, and how we use it to motivate ourselves. And in conclusion, music is useful in everyday life. Now, I found many ways to use music to help me throughout my life. Have you?